everyone. Josh Rugger here with the latest severe weather information. I'm here in studio right now. I've been watching everything all morning long. We've got all the latest data here. Got all the latest information you need to know. I might as well just go ahead and take that banner out of the way there. We've also got a pretty special guest this morning here on this morning weather live stream. The man, the myth, the legend, Chief Meteorologist Dan Scoff, located in Decatur right now. Who you got with you right now, Dan?
Well, we're learning a lot of things. First of all, this is Mr. Mayor Bob Tharp, and Bob is fully responsible for allowing us to get our WeatherBug network camera on top of Decatur. So that's really cool. So how you doing, Mr. Mayor? Good?
I am doing great this morning.
All right. Well, the reason that we're stopping by City Hall, no campaign or anything like that. What this is we're learning about the history of weather history from Decatur. Now, Decatur, by the way, I've learned how to say it too. All this time, I've never enunciated the first syllable. Decatur. That's how you say it, right? That's what she told me. So, Josh, remember that it's not Decatur, it's Decatur. So you got to make sure you enunciate the E. Did you know about that?
I did not know about that. You know, you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
And there it is right there. I just learned something new.
Now, I was at a health and safety fair in Northside, and the whole entire cafeteria was filled, I think, with almost half of the city of Decatur. And I was learning from Mike, your historian, along with you, that there was a tornado that came right through Decatur.
There was.
Decatur, yeah.
June the 6th, 1937.
So we've got actually pictures of this. Check this out, Josh. And this is, the historian that we love to look at. So this is the pawn shop here. You can see the old pawn shop that was hit. I'm going to hand this to you. We're going to go to the next one. This is where we're at. This is actually City Hall. And City Hall was hit by a tornado. That is a two-story building that is no more two-story. Look at that. You see the top story gone. We look at the date here, Josh. And you'll see June 6th of 1937. Now, what's interesting is Tornado Archive doesn't have that. You look at Tornado Archive, the historic maps. I haven't looked in detail at everything, but Tornado Archive isn't on there. So I just wanted to point that out. Josh, I know you're going to go through the forecast, the severe weather potential, all that stuff. But, yeah.
Yes, in 1937, this was the only school in the city of Decatur. And so when it got destroyed, the community gathered together and had held classes in other places. And in 1938, it was repaired and rebuilt using WPA funds. And that was put in motion by President Roosevelt.
Very cool. That is awesome. Josh, you want to show them the view from City Hall in Decatur real quick?
Yes, absolutely.
He's going to bring that up real fast, and you're going to get to see our WeatherBug network camera.
Lots of rain today.
Well, we're already getting some. It's kind of coming down here and there. Now, my wife is at Taziki's right now getting some food, and Josh, I'm going to have to bounce here, but there's Decatur City Hall. We're looking off to, it looks like, the northwest, and I think I was doing that because of the lightning that was developing yesterday. So, Josh, we're going to send it on back to you in the studio. You give them the updates on all of the risks, because we did talk to the Walmart amp. If you're going to the Hosier concert, that is looking okay. I think we're going to be having that concert Friday. Saturday, Riley Green, that's a little more iffy, but also I think that's going to be okay as well. Any last words, sir, before we end this Facebook Live? All right.
Thanks for coming by.
So for Mayor Tharp and myself, Josh, send it on back to you in the studio.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I love seeing that. And like you said, you learn something new every single day. So now we know it's not Decatur, it's Decatur. We'll make sure I say that now and put some emphasis on that every time I talk about that WeatherBug network camera. Man, that was really cool right there. We might need to reach out to the Tornado Archive and make sure they got that tornado down there because, yeah, Bali back in the 1930s, absolutely unbelievable to see those pictures right there and see the damage that went on there in western Benton County. Of course, got to talk about that severe weather potential that we've got coming up here in northwest Arkansas and the River Valley starting tomorrow and continuing through Sunday. And as Dan just mentioned, some adjustments to the forecast this morning. A lot of things that we've been watching with the latest data. We're also taking a lot of information from past severe weather events, especially ones that we've seen this year, and have kind of adjusted our forecast just a little bit. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got going on currently on satellite and radar. There's another view over our Decatur City Hall WeatherBug network camera. Again, that was facing off to the northwest. Quite the lightning show this morning here in northwest Arkansas, especially along Interstate 49 near Mountainburg, man, that Cartwright Weatherbug Network camera was lit up with a bunch of lightning. You can see those showers of storms, how they kind of progressed throughout the morning hours. Even some small hail with that complex of storms that progressed off to the south and east. You notice that complex all the way down into southeast Arkansas now with some additional rain starting to develop just off to the west of the area. So we're not quite done yet with shower and storm potential today. In fact, I think there is the potential for a little bit more heavy rainfall, especially along and north of the Bobby Hopper Tunnel. If we take a wider view here, you notice got the stationary front that's starting to slowly lift back to the north and east. This stationary front, obviously the catalyst for all that shower and storm development. Also going to be the catalyst for more severe weather potential this afternoon, especially in western Kansas, western Oklahoma, down towards the Texas Panhandle. These areas right here need to keep a close eye on this dry line because that's going to be the focus for more shower and storm development, at least in terms of severe weather potential as we move throughout the rest of the day today. Now, if we jog even farther to the west, you notice we've got this low pressure system that's starting to develop. And oh boy, you guys know what that is. We've been talking about this over the last several days. That is that mega trough ejection that's going on across the desert southwest. That's all of that energy that's starting to swing off to the north and east. And this is going to provide our severe weather potential as we move throughout Friday morning into the afternoon and potentially the evening as well. Of course, if we take an even wider view here, you notice another piece of energy starting to swing south and east. And this is going to be our severe weather potential as we move throughout your Saturday into Sunday. This trough ejection could be even more significant than this one. And this one's already significant enough. So a lot of things that we're watching very closely. You want to know what's going on here in Northwest Arkansas. Here's the latest day one convective outlook. So this is for today through overnight tonight. You notice that we've got this marginal risk of severe weather that's clipping eastern Oklahoma into far northwestern Arkansas and the River Valley. Again, on and off thunderstorms possible throughout the rest of the day today. I don't think it's going to be as widespread as what we saw earlier this morning, but still something to keep an eye on. Obviously, you notice that the severe weather risk definitely increases the farther west you go. In fact, those severe weather threats now include a level 3 enhanced risk just off to the south and west of Oklahoma City, level 2 out of 5 slight risk just off to the east of there, and of course that 1 out of 5 marginal risk. Again, small hail, gusty winds possible with any additional thunderstorms that develop during the day in northwest Arkansas and the River Valley, but the main threat is going to be heavy rainfall. We already saw some isolated flooding this morning, and if these thunderstorms do train over the same area, it will definitely have that potential to cause some isolated flash flooding as well. So, time everything on Future Track. Here's the deal. And if you watched Dan's forecast yesterday, you already know our frustrations that we've got with these models. These models can't even pick up on what's going on an hour out, much less what's going on in the future. So take these future tracks with a grain of salt. We'll go through multiple models in this weather live stream to kind of show you all the uncertainty that we have. But I'll tell you, a big reason why we even have uncertainty in the first place with these severe weather events is because of these models. They're supposed to be our puzzle pieces. We, as the weather forecasters or meteorologists, are supposed to take those puzzle pieces and put together our forecast as well. Again, it's guidance. It's not a forecast. But when your guidance is not even guiding you to even remotely the correct solution, then you've got issues. And that's what these models have been doing. So take this future track with a grain of salt. It doesn't show a whole lot of shower and storm development, I know, in northwest Arkansas, but I don't know if I necessarily buy that. I think we still have the potential for a little bit more rain as we move throughout the rest of the day today. So we'll watch that very closely, but of course that warm front's going to be lifting to the north. Notice those overnight lows, upper 50s, lower 60s, some scattered showers here and there. But if we widen this out just a little bit, well, there it is. A little squall line is starting to develop in the southern Texas Panhandle into western Oklahoma. And that's going to bring us our severe weather potential as we move throughout Friday morning. And speaking of Friday morning, this is the latest day 2 convective outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. You notice that we still have a level 2 out of 5 slight risk for severe weather. All modes of severe weather are possible, including large hail, damaging winds, and spin-up tornadoes. And you remember, we've talked about these QLCS, these quasi-linear convective systems that move through northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. It's that textbook line of showers and storms that we always see in our area, and that brings that potential for spin-up tornadoes embedded within those supercells. And that's what I think we should be most concerned about as we move throughout Friday. Because as you're going to see here during the day Friday, there's going to be a cap in place over Northwest Arkansas. And I think this cap is going to be strong enough that it will limit the overall severe weather potential that we see during the afternoon, not only because of that cap, but also because of the convection that we could have during the morning hours. So again, level 2 out of 5 slight risk for the entire area. This will be updated within the next hour or so. I don't think they're going to have an enhanced risk over Northwest Arkansas. I really don't. I think right now the slight risk is going to hold with all the uncertainties that are in place with the afternoon convection. I think we're going to see that slight risk continue for Northwest Arkansas. Of course, you notice here the enhanced risk is located in Missouri, northeastern Kansas, eastern Nebraska, and southwestern Iowa. This area has the potential to produce that higher end tornado threat. If we look at that tornado threat here, you'll see that there's that hashed area for significant tornado potential in this location. So the main tornado threat is going to be off toward north and west where that surface low pressure system sets up. And because of that quick ejection of the surface low, I do think there is some uncertainty and some doubts about the extent of afternoon convection, at least in terms of severe weather convection here in Northwest Arkansas. But here's those risks kind of labeled out here. You can see that tornado potential is low for the entire KNWA Fox 24 coverage area. So again, everybody has kind of an equal chance of tornado potential here in Northwest Arkansas as we move throughout Friday. Of course, large hail is also in that hashed area. This hashed area is where you can see large hailstones over 2 inches in diameter. That's hen egg sized hail. We always say when it comes to these significant hail events that not everybody is going to see significant hail. It's just going to be 1 or 2 locations at most that see it, but the locations that do have the potential to see some pretty big impacts from that. Of course, there's also that threat for damaging wind gusts, 60 to 70 miles per hour, and that is mainly going to be with that morning round of showers and thunderstorms. So you may be wondering, what's the latest future track show? Well, there's that line of showers and storms knocking on our doorstep right around 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. Again, this is going to be a nasty line of showers and storms as it moves through Oklahoma. I'm not surprised that they pulled the plug and went ahead and put an enhanced risk a little bit farther south and west towards Oklahoma City for damage and wind potential. But notice how that line moves through Northwest Arkansas. Again, this is going to be around the same time as what we saw this morning where we had all those accidents. Folks, we had double-digit vehicle accidents this morning from all that rain. And that didn't even bring any severe weather to our area. So I am concerned about more people hydroplaning tomorrow here in Northwest Arkansas, unfortunately. Just make sure you're taking it nice and easy, planning your morning commute around this line of showers and storms. Again, it does have the potential to produce gusty winds up to 60 to 70 miles per hour. I should say damaging winds at that point, as well as large hailstones up to hen egg size. So we got to keep an eye on that here in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Of course, as we move throughout the day, this model wants to keep this convection hanging around NWA with quite a bit of cloud cover. This cloud cover and this convection stays close to Northwest Arkansas, kind of hugs our area. It's going to be tough for additional showers and thunderstorms to develop, at least for these thunderstorms to become surface-based, break that cap completely, and produce tornado potential. You notice it tries to break out some supercells during the evening hours on Friday, but again, I just don't think that the higher end severe weather threat is going to be in place Friday afternoon into the evening in Northwest Arkansas. So again, Walmart Ant concert coming up tomorrow. I know we've got Arkansas baseball coming up tomorrow. I honestly think that at this point, I don't think they should cancel it. I think we should go ahead and hold on to those. We'll keep an eye on the severe weather potential tomorrow afternoon. We'll keep you guys posted. But I do think the main severe weather threat is actually going to be tomorrow morning with that large hail, damaging wind, and spin up tornado potential. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the comments here real quick. While I'm doing that, here's our latest rain chances that we've got in the forecast. And I do need to adjust these just a little bit more. But I want to go to the comments here, see what you guys have to say. If you got any questions, feel free to ask those. I'll answer them. So let's go ahead and look through here. So the man, the myth, the legend, Dan Scoff. That's right, David. He's rocking and rolling there in Decatur. I hope I said that right. See, I'm already forgetting it right now. I hope I'm saying Decatur right now. I think I'm saying it wrong, though, because I feel like I say this all the time. Now I've already forgotten, so I'm going to have to contact Dan about it. Haley says, good morning. Haley, I hope you're having a fantastic morning as well. Hope you're staying dry with all those gray skies and soggy vibes right now. Can you let your dog outside during a thunderstorm, Nikita? I think not. I would definitely not do that during a thunderstorm. We think about our fur babies too and stuff like that, and sometimes we've got outdoor pets and pets that are used to being outside, even when it's raining. But when there's a thunderstorm, you should definitely bring them in. And if you can't bring them into the house, at least bring them in to a protected area like a garage or an attic or a basement or something like that. That way they can be shielded from the showers and thunderstorms. So to answer your question, no, those fur babies should be inside when there are thunderstorms. Yes, Dan always doing some great visits with the kiddos. He was talking about how he's surprised about how busy it was over there, which I thought was very, very funny. Because he had a plan with all these graphics and stuff like that. He's like, "Oh, we got a bunch of kindergartners here. Let's shift towards more fun weather." So it was pretty cool to see that, and I always love seeing all of his stuff that he does with the kids there. He does great stuff with the community. Do you think there is a severe potential for Kentucky fans to be whining after Cal's recruiting weekend? So, Josh, look, I'm not going to get into specific details about what went down on social media a couple days ago, but I will say this. There's a lot of Big Blue Nation tears right now. That is for sure. And look, I don't even think about Kentucky. Every time I open social media, every time I open Twitter, I see the latest Kentucky fan talking about Coach Calipari. If that's not obsession, I don't know what is. So I'll leave it at that. But do I think there's severe potential for Kentucky fans to be whining? I'm going to forecast a 100% chance of that, Josh. In fact, we might get the 8-ball out. I'm sure the 8-ball is going to say it is certain for that as well. So good question right there. Could the day 2 be upgraded to enhanced? So Jacob, I don't think it's going to be upgraded here. I think there's too much uncertainty right now in terms of that afternoon and evening convection. There's too much uncertainty, in my opinion, for the enhanced risk to be issued. We'll see what happens. Obviously, things can change, but we'll see what happens there. I don't think it will be, though. I'd be kind of surprised, to be honest. Ozark was flooded this morning. A lot of rain there. Yes, there was a lot of rain, TJ. In fact, let's look at the rainfall totals that we had. It might take a little bit for this to load, but I am interested to see what the radar estimated precipitation totals are. So we're going to let that load for a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and save that as a new show element. That way it has some time to load. So just bear with me there. We'll check it out. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, you can see where the swath of heaviest rainfall was. That is for sure. And you are exactly correct, TJ. Ozark right smack dab in the middle of that heaviest rain swath. In fact, some reports of 4 inches of rain potentially there. Oh, my goodness. That's quite a bit of rain just off to the south and east of, there's a 45.5 inches to the west of Clarksville. So you can see why there was some flooding this morning. Localized flooding. We talked about that yesterday. Isolated to scattered flash flooding, and we certainly saw that this morning along the I-40 corridor. Lesser rainfall totals a little bit farther north, though. This little swath of rain went through western Washington County. We can go ahead and graph that out real quick and see the average rainfall totals there. So about 2 inches of rain there just off to the east of Stillwell near the West Fork area. So quite a bit of rainfall last night here in northwest Arkansas and the River Valley for sure. All right. Weekend outlook. I know people want to know about the weekend, so let's go ahead and get right to that as well. So here's the latest day 3 convective outlook, Lee. This has been issued from the Storm Prediction Center. Now, here's the deal. Day 3 updates, and I'm going to move myself out of the way here so you can see what was written there. Day 3 updates are rare, but I do think there is the potential for this to be upgraded later this morning. We'll see. I've been looking at the latest data, and I'm telling you right now, folks, if you got some friends who live in central Oklahoma, Kansas, those areas need to be on high alert for Saturday. Now, here in northwest Arkansas and the River Valley, you notice that we're not under an enhanced risk. We are east of that main severe weather axis. We have a level 2 out of 5 slight risk along the I-49 corridor, and a level 1 out of 5 marginal risk a little bit farther east. Now, here's the reason why I think that's the case. I think most of the showers or storms are going to be moving through Saturday night into Sunday morning. If you're talking about significant severe weather potential, it's going to be in this axis from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. these thunderstorms are going to be forming in a highly volatile environment. I know there's concerns about morning convection, but I'm telling you right now, this area right here is going to be in some trouble for significant severe weather potential. Here in Northwest Arkansas, we're going to see these storms start to congeal into a line as a low-level jet kicks in and that system ejects off to the north and east. And that line will start pushing through as we move throughout the overnight hours Saturday into Sunday morning. This line, very similar to what we're going to see tomorrow morning, will have the threat of large hail, damaging winds, and spin-up tornadoes. I do think this line will be a little bit more stout than what we're going to see tomorrow morning. That's just my opinion on the matter. I still think Saturday night and Sunday has the potential to be a little bit higher in over our area. But you notice that the significant hazards area is well west of Northwest Arkansas. Look how large of an area this is, though. Folks, anytime you see an enhanced risk like this, where it's just this big, large area of significant hazards, a 30% risk area like this on a day 3 outlook, usually it means they are setting up for a moderate risk upgrade in the future. So if I were to pinpoint an area that has the highest in severe weather potential, it's going to be extending from eastern Kansas down into central Oklahoma. This area right here is definitely going to be under the gun as we move throughout Saturday. Now, here in Northwest Arkansas, we zoom back in. As those storms are pushing through, Sunday will have the potential for more severe weather potential. Now, it's a little bit more uncertain here. That's why we say stay tuned and not list specific hazards, because it's too early for that. But I do think the timing will be mainly Sunday morning with additional thunderstorms possible Sunday afternoon. But based on what I'm looking at with the latest trends, Saturday night and Sunday morning could feature a pretty nasty squall line here in Northwest Arkansas. So let's go ahead and look at what some of the models are showing. First of all, this model doesn't break a whole lot out Friday afternoon to the evening. Saturday during the day, you're not noticing a whole lot in Northwest Arkansas, but look out to our west. Here we go. An explosion of supercells in Oklahoma and Kansas. All of these are going to be potentially prolific tornado makers, if not large hail makers, that's for sure. And as those storms move off to the east, they're going to form into a big line and start pushing into Northwest Arkansas as we go throughout Saturday night into Sunday morning. And this line will have the potential to produce those QLCS-type tornadoes. Now, again, this is going to be changing. Timing is going to be adjusted. But I think Saturday night into Sunday morning is a good bet for the most significant severe weather potential. Let's go ahead and look at the European model here and see what it's got in terms of how this storm system kind of evolves. Remember, this is a lower resolution model, so it's not going to show specific smaller scale details. So there's that first storm system ejecting off to the north and east again. Bulk of the activity coming through Friday morning. Now, this model wants to bring in some storms Saturday evening, especially in the river valley. I would not be surprised if that's the case, but look at that low pressure system. Bowling ball low pressure system just off to the west of Wichita. That trough ejection is trouble. And there's that line of storms moving through NWA Saturday night and Sunday morning. So there you go. Even the computer models are showing that, though. Maybe some isolated supercell development just off to the east of Northwest Arkansas and the river valley as well. So again, this is going to be changing. This is a little bit too early to get into specific details about Saturday and Sunday, but I do think Saturday night and the Sunday needs to be watched very closely, at least in our weather coverage area. So there's the day 3 outlook again. I'm going to go back to the comments here and kind of go through everybody's comments. Cole, hey, Brother Josh, appreciate you guys, brother in Christ. You think Northwest Arkansas, River Valley dodged a big tornado threat late Saturday night and Sunday morning. Thanks and God bless. Looks like Central Missouri is the hot spot for those days. So, Cole, God bless you as well, my man. Thank you so much for commenting and joining. For Northwest Arkansas, we actually perfect timing because we could talk about Saturday night and Sunday. I think we're not going to see the higher end tornado threat that Oklahoma and those areas are going to see a little bit farther to our west. But we will have the potential for QLCS tornadoes, and I do think that the tornado potential will be on the higher end for QLCS tornadoes as we move throughout Saturday night and Sunday. I think it'll actually be a little bit higher than what we may see tomorrow morning, just looking at the latest data. In terms of big tornado threat, like violent, I don't want to use the word violent, but some of the National Weather Service offices were using that. But strong tornado potential, long track tornadoes, that's going to be more favorable farther west on Saturday. So good question right there. And I really appreciate you joining this Facebook Live as well, asking that question, because it's a good one. Any bad weather, Saley, it's pretty much for the entire area. We need to stay weather aware. Again, this is very, very hard to pinpoint exact locations. I don't know if you were here at the beginning of this Facebook Live, but the models just like they cannot pick up on anything, folks. They can't even pick up on what's going on an hour out, right? So it's so hard to pinpoint what's going to happen 6-7 hours out when the models can't even get a grasp of what's going on right now. So I think Bella Vista does need to stay weather aware, much like everywhere in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And as these storms sort of evolve and we get, some more imagery on water vapor, we start seeing these storms develop out west, we'll have a much better idea on specific locations and how significant that severe weather potential will be. Do you think they will update to level 3 for Saturday? Quinn, I don't think Northwest Arkansas will be under enhanced risk. And here's the reason why. It's just because these storms are going to be moving through more Saturday night into Sunday. So Sunday, we might get an enhanced risk. Saturday, I think it will stay to the west, but there's still time for that to change. Good question. We'll keep an eye on it. I don't think we'll be under a moderate risk. I think there will be a very good chance of a moderate risk in Oklahoma and Kansas. And I think it could happen as early as tomorrow, based on the latest data. What is the forecast for Ardmore, Oklahoma, on Sunday? We are traveling there for a baseball tournament. So Sunday, hail, I think things are going to be winding down. So traveling there for a baseball, are you traveling on Sunday? If you're traveling there on Saturday, it's looking dicey. Sunday during the day is actually looking pretty good. I think baseball will be played on Sunday there in Ardmore. I think most of the storms will be out of there by Sunday, early Sunday morning in Ardmore, and be well off to the east of the area. Travel safe. And let me know if you're traveling on Saturday. Because if you're traveling on Saturday, it could be a little dicey there in Oklahoma. Why does the weather split at Greenwood? Is it the river, mountains, everything goes below and above us? Amy, it's the great unknown about Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. I have always said this, and here's the deal. I'm not a meteorologist yet. I'm 1 year away. I'm a weather forecaster. I love the weather. I've studied the weather my whole life. And I just don't think there's any place in the country like Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. I always say this to people all the time who are talking about forecasting and the challenges here. If you want to become a better forecaster, or at least be humbled by your forecasting skills, move to Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley and try to forecast here. Because it's so difficult. It's so difficult. And the models don't help that. The models do not help that. Our guidance, our puzzle pieces are just not the best right now. It definitely impacts our ability to forecast these things. But why does the weather split at Greenwood? Amy, I blame Colby Ward. The hashtag Colby effect. That man will kill any storm. So I'm going to defer to the Colby effect on this one. I have to drive to Dallas this weekend. Would Friday night or Saturday morning be safer? Don't know if first post went there. Okay, Paige. So I see your post now. You're asking about traveling to Dallas. I think Friday night will be better than Saturday morning. Because check this out. This is the one limiting factor to big-time severe weather potential in Oklahoma. I'm going to go to this graph model here. And what I'm going to show you is Friday night into Saturday morning. Check this out. Nothing going on in the Dallas area Friday night. So if you're wondering about traveling I'm not even showing the thing. Sorry. So you're wondering about traveling to Dallas on Friday night. Nothing going on there. No convection at all. Now, notice as we move throughout the day Saturday, some storms start to fire up. It's not showing anything in Dallas, but I still feel like there's the potential for showers and thunderstorms on Saturday. So if you want to absolutely avoid any rain chances, Paige, I think you're going to be okay on Friday. Because once we go into Saturday, those storms start. Wow. That's just an eruption of showers and thunderstorms. That's unbelievable right there. But look at those supercells that are going through central Oklahoma. Look at that beefy supercell west of Oklahoma City. My goodness. And all these storms are rotating too. Now, once they form into a line, we start transitioning more to a damaging wind threat. But man, it's gonna be a rough, tough Saturday night. That's for sure. Here in the weather lab. So Paige, Friday night I think is gonna be your best bet for sure. Supposed to be in Bartlesville, Oklahoma tomorrow. Is it safe? Donna, I think you'll be fine in Bartlesville tomorrow. Again, there's that severe weather risk that's in place, but I think for tomorrow, it's mostly going to be east of the Bartlesville area. There's still that slight risk there, but in terms of significant supercells, they're going to be more up here in eastern Kansas, western Missouri, southwest Iowa. So Bartlesville's on the edge of that slight risk, and I do think tomorrow, you just keep an eye on the damaging wind potential in the early morning hours. But I think the supercell potential looks low there in Bartlesville. Could we see an enhanced risk over north for Saturday morning? Definitely not for Saturday morning. I don't envision that for Saturday morning, Jacob. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Saturday morning is actually going to be completely dry here in Northwest Arkansas. Now, Sunday morning, that could be a different story. But Saturday, I don't think so. I think Saturday in general looks like it's mostly going to be west of the area during the daytime hours. Amber has a good question. So why are spin-ups considered more dangerous intensity? So spin-ups, Amber, are not necessarily more dangerous, right? Because you're not talking about, significant long track tornadoes with spin-ups. The thing about spin-ups that's always the scariest is the fact that they can sneak up on you, right? That they happen really quickly, right? They happen for a couple of radar scans and then they're gone. But in those couple of radar scans, that tornado can drop on the ground, cause damage for a few minutes, and then lift back up. And then you don't even know it's there because a lot of the times those spin-ups are not tornado warned. And it's extremely hard to warn those because of how quickly they occur, right? Normally with thunderstorms, you see them ramp up and expand in coverage and really intensify over time. With spin-ups, it's there and gone, there and gone, there and gone. And when it happens, they can drop tornadoes. So you have to be watching that radar like a hawk when it comes to severe weather setups like tomorrow morning and Saturday night and Sunday morning as well. So, in terms of intensity, Amber, normally spin-ups are not as intense as long track strong tornadoes, but they can be in a lot of ways more dangerous because at least with the long track tornadoes, you get a warning in advance. And usually it's a pretty good warning in advance. With these spin-ups, a lot of the times they're not warned, and that can be dangerous. And that's why we keep an eye on that radar very closely here in Northwest Arkansas, because a lot of the times we do see those spin-up type setups. Oh, Tay, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's very kind words. And yeah, we've got a great group of guys. You got the best chief meteorologist in the business, Dan Scoff. You got the man, the myth, the legend, Peyton Langford. You've got the swole king, Zach Gilday, as well in the evening. So, yeah, this weather team here, I'm very proud to be on it, very blessed to be a part of it, and glad to be doing the morning shows too and covering stuff for you guys during the morning. Have a lot of fun with Perry Elliott Arani, best morning show host in the business. And hey, you can join us tomorrow morning starting at 5 o'clock a.m. We're going to have all the latest information on that severe weather potential here in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. All right, let's see if we got any more questions here. Is it going to be quiet weather for a while after the system goes through? Good question, Rena. So Monday, we will have the chance for some more shower and storms, but in terms of severe weather, I think things are going to start dying down by the time we get to Monday. But if we take a look at our 7-day forecast here, you'll notice that past Monday, things looking pretty good for Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, beyond the scope of the 7-day forecast, things are looking a little bit dicey. I think there will be the chance that we get an active weather pattern again, but I do think Tuesday and Wednesday are looking great. And with warm temperatures to boot, middle to upper 80s, man, get me out there on Beaver Lake. It's tubing season already here in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. But, in terms of that active weather pattern, Rena, Tuesday into Wednesday, we die down. Past that, it could be a little bit dicey once again. I'm sorry, but I missed the first part of this. Is there still possibly rain in Northwest Arkansas for Saturday morning? So, Rebecca, I think Saturday morning we're going to stay dry here in Northwest Arkansas. I think Saturday morning will stay nice and dry here in our area for sure. Saturday evening, overnight hours, Sunday morning, that's going to be a different story. Mean Saturday. Yes. Oh, do you mean Saturday? Hold on. Oh, okay. Supposed to be in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, Saturday. Okay. I saw your previous comment right there. So, Donna, stay weather aware. Stay weather aware because, I was just showing you that day 2 outlook, day 3 outlook, right? For Saturday in Bartlesville. That's when the severe weather potential is really ramping up over Oklahoma. And you notice that Bartlesville is located in that level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk, and there is parameters in place for stronger thunderstorms there. So stay weather aware on Saturday, Donna, especially during the afternoon and evening hours. Absolutely, Paige, anytime. And safe travels. I'll be going around 5 a.m. Saturday if I do go. Safe travels down there. I think you'll be okay. I think you'll miss, like, you may run into some rain, but I think you'll miss the most intense thunderstorms that develop later in the day. Let's see. What would be a good time to go outside and enjoy the weather with our dogs? Nikita, I think Saturday, honestly, in Northwest Arkansas is looking pretty good. Friday afternoon, we might have some clearing here in NWA. You'll notice that here on Future Track. It doesn't break out a whole lot of convection Friday afternoon, and I think I buy that. You see some thunderstorms trying to hang around, but Friday afternoon, Saturday during the day, I think are looking pretty good in Northwest Arkansas, to be honest. Especially Saturday morning. Saturday morning, you just have some clouds hanging around, maybe some light rain showers developing, but I think the bulk of the activity is going to stay off to the west of our area Saturday during the daytime hours. Ann or on, I hope Ann or on, just joining the broadcast, timing for my weekend in Eureka. So timing, Ann, going to be mainly Saturday night into Sunday morning. For Friday, I think mainly Friday morning. And then rain chances will drop off during the afternoon. I need to adjust this a little bit. I think we're looking at more 30% chance of rain or less for Friday afternoon to the evening. And then Saturday during the day looking fine in Eureka Springs. And then Saturday night and Sunday, that's when things start kind of getting a little more dicey. Nikita, I think the weather radio could be going off tomorrow morning. All weekend, I don't think so. But tomorrow morning, I think that weather radio will be a little bit active for you. So just be ready for that. This is a good question by Amanda. So if there is a chance of spin ups, then is it best to get our safe spot during a severe thunderstorm warning? So this is a great question and such a conundrum because, the challenge as meteorologists and as weather forecasters is, we don't want to cry wolf on things, right? We don't want to lose trust when it comes to our warnings and how we message them. The issue is that I feel like with setups like tomorrow morning, with the potential for these things to ramp up so quickly, I almost do want to say that you need to be prepared to go into your safe room when there's a severe thunderstorm warning tomorrow, even if there is just a severe thunderstorm warning. Because I can remember fondly, I was here for that last July, the Mansfield tornado that went through the river valley. That was just a severe thunderstorm warning. And how quickly that ramped up, and how the fact that we were able to get on air before that touched down and see those signs of QLCS tornado potential, how people were able to get into a safer spot and stay safe during that. And save lives too in that situation. So Amanda, if there's a chance of spin ups, I always lean towards caution. And me personally, if I'm at my house and there's a severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado possible tag on it, or there's the potential for something like that, I do, at the least get closer to my safe room just in case. And when those storms are barreling through the area, I typically do lean towards getting into my safe spot. Again, that is such a conundrum though, because it's just such a fine line with messaging, but a very good question. And especially with systems like tomorrow and the ones that we're going to have Saturday night and Sunday, I do think leaning towards the side of caution and being safe is always what we want to do when it comes to these severe weather setups. So good question right there. All right, folks, I think it's just about time to wrap things up here. Again, we're looking at severe weather potential for tomorrow morning, especially in Northwest Arkansas. Slight risk of severe weather in place. We're going to get an update on this within 30 minutes. So Dan, Peyton, and Zach will be here for tomorrow morning. Again, main time frame for thunderstorms is going to be between about 4 a.m. to 11 a.m. And you're going to see that here on Future Track, how these thunderstorms kind of evolve off to our west and then move through during the early morning hours. All modes of severe weather possible. I lean more towards damaging winds with a line of storms, but spin up tornadoes also a threat, especially with the orientation of this line. This line is what we call line normal and perpendicular to the shear vector profile. I know we're getting a little bit more advanced there, but basically, if the ingredients are favorable, we could have a greater threat for QLCS tornadoes as we move throughout Friday morning. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on that, especially along and north of the Bobby Hopper Tunnel. I think the shear vector profiles are a little bit more favorable there. Of course, more thunderstorms possible during the afternoon tomorrow, but these are much more uncertain. This wants to break out a cluster of storms. This is a cluster of storms. This is mainly going to bring a hail and wind threat. If we can clear out and get isolated supercells, these would pose an all hazards risk, including tornadoes. But these are very elevated storms because of the cap or that lid on the atmosphere Friday afternoon. So I lean towards Friday afternoon being okay. I think the Walmart Amp concert's going to be okay. I think the Razorback game's going to be okay. Just going to keep our fingers crossed that cap holds, and I do think it will, with the main forcing being off to the north and west. Of course, we're still keeping an eye on Saturday into Sunday in terms of specific timing, still being fine-tuned. I lean towards Saturday night into Sunday morning. Level 2 out of 5 slight risk along the I-49 corridor. Level 1 out of 5 marginal risk a little bit farther east, with the main severe weather risk in central Oklahoma and southern Kansas. Of course, more severe weather possible during the day on Sunday, and that risk will be fine-tuned as we go throughout the next 24 to 48 hours. So this is what we're looking at. That's about all I've got in terms of this weather live stream. Thank you guys so much for joining today. I hope I answered everybody's questions, was able to be transparent about the timing and about the uncertainty that we have with this system. Again, I'm feeling a little bit better about our area in terms of significance of weather potential. What I mean by that is I think with the track of these troughs, I think we're going to be spared in terms of the higher end severe weather threat. Now, there is some time for that to change. We certainly do need to keep an eye on those models, as bad as they are. We still need to keep an eye on those trends and just kind of take everything with a cautious approach when it comes to the severe weather setup. So we'll be watching it very closely. Dan, Peyton, Zach, they're going to be here this evening. KNWA News at 5. Don't miss the latest details there. I'm sure they're going to have another weather live stream. I'm going to have a weather live stream starting very early tomorrow morning. So if you're up tomorrow morning, 4 a.m. or so, I'm going to have a weather live stream with all the latest details. We're going to have a good idea of how that line's kind of evolving. You can also join me on KNWA today, starting at 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning, as well as Fox 24 News at 7, as thunderstorms are pushing through northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. I promise we're going to keep you safe. We're going to keep you posted. One more thing that I want to direct you towards, and then we're going to wrap this up. Our free Weather Authority app. I think this app is great because you see our hour-by-hour forecasts as they're adjusted. You also have that weather blog that you have access to. I've been updating that over the last couple of days. You can visit our website, knwa.com, for the latest video forecast and more information there. And scan that QR code right now. Find that on the Google Play and Apple App Store, and have all those latest details available for you via that Weather Authority app. All right, folks. I think it's time to wrap things up. I hope everybody has a terrific rest of your Thursday. Stay safe, everybody. God bless. And we'll see you in the next weather live stream coming up later on today. Have a good one, everybody.